I get it, so many sewing and embroidery machines look perfect on the photo grid, but when you finally plug one in, the results can feel flat, the stitches wobble, and the promised all-in-one feel turns into a tangled mess of accessories you never learned to use. That hesitation is why I spent a weekend actually unboxing and testing a few models before hitting record, hoping to spare you the trial and error that most first-time buyers dread. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Bernette B79 lands in the crowded combo machine space, where the promise is simple: a single unit that can handle everything from a basic shirt hem to a full-scale embroidered logo. The biggest question for anyone eyeing this category is whether you end up with a jack-of-all-trades that's a master of none. In real life, the difference shows up in three places: how quickly you can get a design onto fabric, how many extra parts you actually need to buy, and whether the learning curve feels like a friendly tutorial or an endless maze. First off, the B79's 5-inch touchscreen is the most noticeable change from the older dial and button layouts you'll find on many entry-level machines. Instead of scrolling through endless menus with tiny arrows, you tap icons that light up with a gentle backlight, and the screen walks you through stitch selection, hoop size, and even thread tension adjustments. I tried swapping from a 4mm quilting hoop to the 8mm embroidery hoop, and the machine updated the stitch length automatically, a small convenience that saves a few minutes per project and reduces the chance of a misthreaded stitch. What makes the B79 stand out, though, is the bundle itself. Bernette tacked on a $500+ collection of embroidery design tools, a sunset thread kit, several presser feet, and an extension table that folds out to give you a bit more room for larger quilts or multi-layer projects. For someone who's been putting off buying a separate thread case or a set of specialty feet, the bundle feels like you're getting a starter kitchen already stocked, not just a bare-bones machine. In my tests, the included 14-color thread set covered everything from a simple monogram to a more colorful patchwork, and I didn't need to run to the store for anything else. That said, the bundle does hide a couple of trade-offs. The extra accessories add up to a heavier footprint. This isn't a lightweight tabletop model you can easily move from room to room. If you live in a small apartment and plan to store the machine after each session, you'll need a sturdy shelf or a dedicated corner. The extension table helps, but it's also a piece you have to fold out and lock in place each time you want that extra workspace. It's not a deal-breaker, just something to factor into your space planning. Another practical point is the built-in embroidery library. Bernette includes a modest selection of ready-to-go designs, but if you're looking for a huge catalog of trendy motifs, you'll need to purchase additional files. The touchscreen makes loading new designs from a USB stick fairly painless. Just plug it in, select import, and the machine does the rest. However, the import process can be a little slower than the flashier, higher-priced machines that boast instant Wi-Fi transfers. If you're a hobbyist who only needs a few custom logos a month, the B79's method works fine, but a small business cranking out dozens of embroidered shirts daily might feel the drag. Now, who should actually consider the B79? If you've already dabbled with a basic sewing machine and want to step up to embroidery without buying two separate units, this combo hits a sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for makers who enjoy both sewing and embellishing. Think of a DIY fashion designer who stitches a dress and then adds a personalized monogram, or a quilter who wants to incorporate embroidered panels without rethreading a different machine. The touchscreen and all-included accessories reduce the extra parts headache, and the Swiss-engineered reputation adds a layer of confidence that the internal mechanics will hold up over time. Conversely, if you're an absolute beginner whose only goal is to learn to sew straight stitches, the B79 might feel a bit overkill. The touchscreen can be a blessing, but it also introduces a layer of digital navigation that can be intimidating if you've never dealt with firmware updates or USB imports. In that case, a simpler mechanical machine with a few basic stitches could get you sewing faster and for less money. Likewise, if you run a high-volume embroidery shop, the B79's stitching speed and limited onboard design library may become bottlenecks, pushing you toward a more industrial-grade model that sacrifices the all-in-one convenience for raw throughput. In everyday use, the B79 proved reliable for a range of projects I threw at it. I sewed a buttonhole on a denim jacket, and the machine adjusted tension on the fly, delivering a clean edge without the tightening I sometimes see on cheaper combos. Switching to embroidery, I loaded a 5-inch floral motif, positioned it on a cotton linen blend, and the machine executed the design in roughly 12 minutes, perfect for a